France is again seeing all those benefits of mass immigration from the Middle East. Who'd have thought it? You import the world's problems and customs. See for yourself all those wonderful benefits taking place on the streets of France just in time for Christmas. All that cultural enrichment courtesy of men from the Kurdish community. I'm not surprised by those scenes in the slightest. What did they think would happen after importing so many fighting age men from Middle Eastern countries? According to the 2018 census, France imported over 6 million foreign-born people, many from Morocco and Algeria. How many of those couldn't give a damn about France and its customs? How many bring their own customs with them, some of which are in direct conflict with those of the country they now find themselves living in? It must be said, there is a lady in the footage trying to stop these lawless men. She is clearly angered and distressed by their actions. It's a great example why we assume most refugees should be women and children, or at the very least families, and not loads of single young men full of testosterone. No nation in its right mind would allow millions of men in who potentially have no respect for their laws. But much of Europe lost its mind some time ago. Douglas Murray explains this brilliantly in his book, The Strange Death of Europe. If France isn't a warning to Britain as to why mass immigration is bad, I really don't know what is. We can only conclude those who champion this kind of insanity for Britain do so because they know it's bad. They hate Britain that much they wish to see similar scenes on our streets. We've already had a mild taste of it earlier this year on the streets of Leicester. These liberal types will always pretend these downsides don't exist or pretend immigration is not the cause. It's our job to call out their nonsense. A man recently attacked and killed members of the Kurdish community in a horrific attack in Paris, an attack we should all condemn. But it seems it was one lone psychopath who was arrested and has now been charged with murder. Hopefully, this time he'll be behind bars for good. However, the French public were not responsible for those crimes, yet they were on the receiving end of the retaliation, as shown in the intimidating footage of Kurdish men rampaging through the streets of Paris. Many can be seen flying this flag during the riots. It belongs to the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK. Apart from clearly being Marxist, the PKK has been designated a terrorist organisation by the USA, UK and EU, among others. Yet here it is on EU soil, flying proud. I understand the Kurdish community is angry, and the attacker had already been jailed for attacking a migrant before he was released and went on to commit those murders. But that's a problem with the justice system. We see it every day in Britain and America. Rapists, paedophiles and murderers get arrested, then released and go on to commit another crime. Watch any true crime program, and that is usually the case with prolific criminals. It is not an excuse to riot as they did, and if France has any sense, they'll deport all involved. However, it's not my place to tell France how to run their country. They'll do what they want. But looking at the list of incidents there, it's not going well. From riots to priests having their throats slit at the altar and teachers being decapitated, to office staff being gunned down in their own place of work for drawing offensive cartoons, to over 100 people being gunned down at a rock concert. Clearly, mass immigration has its downsides, and Britain needs only look across the English Channel to see why we absolutely do not want to follow France's blueprint on it. Making sure all those imaginary surgeons and architects illegally crossing the Channel don't reach our shores or are sent back immediately. If they do, would be a good start. For that to happen, this madness needs to stop. Let's hope we put a stop to this madness before it's too late. If mass immigration continues at the current rate, it's only a matter of time before Britain is fully down the drain, if it isn't already.